Back on the SportsMax Zone, the Sport of Kings is where we begin on this Friday. The Sandy Lane Barbados Gold Cup, most prestigious single-day sporting event, returns to the Garrison Savannah on Saturday after a 2-year break due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Barbados Gold Cup action, the fans really anticipating the return of this event. SportsMax, the home of champions, will be partnering with the Barbados Turf Club and broadcasting the event with coverage starting at 3:15 Eastern Caribbean time, 2:15 in Jamaica. Mid-afternoon Friday, the betting opened for the Sandy Lane Barbados Gold Cup, and here are the latest odds we got in the last hour. Vividly is at 6-1, American Diamond at 3-1, So Suave at 7-2, It's a Gamble 4-1, Tallahatchie Bridge now the favorite at 5-2 early, Brilliant News at 12-1, Bodie Tap runner-up the last Gold Cup in 2020 at 18-1, second longest shot in the field. 8 Renaissance Frolic, Sir David Seal's 8-year-old, is at 25-1, the longest shot in the field, and Mohawk is at 5-1. So all week we've heard that So Suave would likely be the favorite, but at the moment, as we speak, So Suave is actually third in the betting at 7-2, behind the favorite Tallahatchie Bridge at 5-2, and the 3-1 bet Savvy Joseph Jr.'s American Diamond, which has a 13-time champion jockey in Canada, Rico Walcott, riding. More than familiar face to you will be covering the event. I'm talking about George Davis, and he joins us now. George has landed in Barbados, that beautiful country, and I'm sure George will agree. George, welcome to the SportsMax Zone, and it's the Sport of Kings. It's your favorite sport. How are things shaping up for the Sandy Lane Gold Cup? George. I think George is in the hearing.
Lance, it's fantastic to be here in Barbados. Are you here?
Yes.
I'm hearing you. Are you hearing me now?
Yes, so there's a delay, so just keep going, yeah. Yeah, the delay is a bit of a humbug. But he'll continue now, I'm sure.
Okay, right. So I'm saying that it's fantastic to be here in Barbados, and you've said the right thing about the country. It's correct that it is a gem of a place to be. And look, all the talk here in Barbados is about the Sandy Lane Gold Cup. It promises to be a fantastic event everywhere you go. You touched on the airport, at the arrival hall at the Grantley Adams International Airport. People are talking about the Gold Cup. You can't get a room at your usual hotel because they're all filled with people who have come to enjoy the festivities, and festivities there will be around the big race, and then to all climax nicely in the penultimate event with this run for gold in this Barbados Gold Cup. It's a crack field. I just want to say that everything is set for it to be an event for the ages.
Yeah, George, I was making the point earlier on that in the couple of weeks leading up to the Gold Cup, we had heard that So Suave would likely be the favorite. Now betting has just opened, so So Suave could eventually be the favorite at post time tomorrow. But the Patrick Husbands effect appears to be taking its toll here, and Tallahatchie Bridge, to be ridden by Patrick Husbands, Ken Ramsey's horse, is showing as the early favorite at odds of 5-2. What are the fans saying about this race, and who would likely win?
You know how horse racing goes. Every man can analyze a race to suit what he is going to gamble, yeah? And everybody can analyze a race to suit their that they would like to see. What's true is that the argument about So Suave, not what's true. The argument about So Suave is that, Bummel won the major prep race with this horse for the Gold Cup. Didn't you need to go for the stick? But the fact that Bummel opted off So Suave in favor of Tallahatchie Bridge, that's the signal that the race fans are saying, because the reasoning is that, if the jockey who knows the horse so well, who won on the horse the last time, has decided that against these horses in this field, that this horse is not the best suited, this one is not the one that will most likely carry him to success, it's another horse, and that's all the indicator that some people want. So that's why the punters would have abandoned So Suave in favor of Tallahatchie Bridge, because they're saying that Bummel knows best.
Right, and George, you of course study this sport very, very closely. Based on what you know about the conditions in Barbados and about this particular course, based on the field that we have at hand, who do you think will win?
I tell you what, I've narrowed it down to 3 horses, maybe 4. I'm still sticking Body Tap in there, even though I think that relative to these, at their very best, he has a little bit to find. I'm looking at American Diamond. That's the number 2 horse. I'm looking at So Suave. I'm looking at It's a Gamble. And I'm looking at Tallahatchie Bridge. Those 4, 1, 2, 3, or 4, and 5. That's where I expect the winner to come from. I really, really like for American Diamond 1, the big preparation for this event will be ridden by a very, very good jockey, Rico Walcott, for the informed Stafford Joseph Jr. I had the pleasure of sitting in the Garrison stands today and watching him win at Gulfstream Park with one of his entries at the Barbadian trainer. And I think American Diamond is, in my mind, the horse to beat. The thing with Tallahatchie Bridge is that I think Tallahatchie Bridge, Mariah, is a bit of a grinder. This track, I walked the track in the company of our senior producer, Mikhail Edwards, and the track is as I envisioned it all these years. It's very, very tight in terms of backstretch. The backstretch is about a furlong and a half, if so much. And then it's all corners, which is why you hear the famous refrain from the commentator, there are no more turns. It's not just something he likes to say, it's because it's true. There are no more turns at a particular point in the track, and but only for a short part of it. Tallahatchie Bridge, I think, would prefer a track with a proper backstretch, 3.5 furlongs, 4 furlongs backstretch, where he can really get his legs in, get himself in. The corners and the undulations of the track, I don't think suits his grinding style. And I think we may see Bommel coming when this one is too late. Although if anybody can ride this track, the man won it as a teenager, if anybody can ride this galloping horse, he certainly can. But I like American Gamble because it has the pace to go with the leaders. It can lead if it wants to, I believe. It can hold a place prominent, stay ground on the inside, maybe 3 wide, worst case scenario, but it can prompt the pace, and prompting the pace, turning for home at the top of the lane with just over a furlong in front of it. I think American Diamond is the horse to beat in this event. But, you know, we're all poised to be wrong come a Gold Cup day.
Yeah, George, what you're saying coincides with Randy Thompson, who is Safi Joseph's assistant, looking after his 2 horses here, American Diamond and Tallahatchie Bridge, because he was making the point that they are 2 completely different horses. American Diamond is a smaller, more compact horse. Tallahatchie Bridge, taller and rangier with far strides. And I think I'm getting the point that you're making, that based on the sharp turns, based on the running style of these 2 horses, American Diamond build as a horse may be a little bit more suited to the Garrison Savannah track than Tallahatchie Bridge.
Absolutely right, Lance. And as I was pointing out to Mickey when we were walking the track, I was saying that given the nature of the track, the sharpness of the turns, you have to have a certain advantageous position right through to be suited, to be seen to best advantage when you have dropped that hammer and you're asking the horse for everything. And Tallahatchie Bridge, when it's a different course, that would be the horse I would back, because I think that's the best horse coming into the event. But I don't think it's the best horse suited to the course, given what the Garrison outlined outlay is. And I just think the stable company American Diamond. Keep thinking American Gem. Barbados, the Gem of the Caribbean, American Diamond. There's a rate for you. I think American Diamond is much better suited to the galloping course and could be seen to advantage. But then again, gentlemen and lady, we know that Patrick Husbands knows this thing inside out, back and front. If he believes Tallahatchie Bridge is the horse to work with, I think that's on the strength of that decision. That's why so many people are going for Tallahatchie Bridge, and that's why it's the early morning line favorite. I think there's more than something there, but I just think that he'll have to beat American Diamond for me to lift that Gold Cup on Saturday.
Yeah, and we've got to wrap now, George, but the day itself is going to be a big day. I know that the horse racing itself is the primary concern, but Gold Cup activities extend way beyond just the racing itself, and our good friend Dominic Hill has a Gold Cup village there that will be a part of the experience. And usually a lot of tourists are in Barbados for the Sandy Lane Barbados Gold Cup, and you know, the stage is set for a magnificent day of engagement from the public, not just the Gold Cup itself.
Correct, you are, because I left several work. I spent several hours at the track earlier today. I left several workmen there laying out the various parts of the arrangement that they have under the Gold Cup umbrella. He spoke of Dominic Hill. His village is ready. He's modeling off a Royal Ascot, and we've seen Dominic in his tails at Royal Ascot. He's been to the Cheltenham Gold Cup and the Grand National, the big events in the UK, and the Breeders' Cup, of course. So he's taken that experience and he's looking to replicate it here for Gold Cup Day, and we think that his Gold Cup village will be a hit. But you're correct, Lance. Right around the compass here at the Garrison, all sorts of work is going on to put things in place, because tomorrow it's an inclusive day. It's a day for people like us, the racing analysts, the racing purists. It's also a day for the social butterflies. Everyone is said to have something to remember from Gold Cup Day. And Mariah should know, Mariah, it's an open track, one of the few open tracks you find anywhere in the world. So you can be driving by, you pull your car over to the side of the road, jump on, jump out, and walk across the road. And you're at the Garrison Savannah watching the horse racing. It's set, it's poised to be fantastic.
All right, thanks, George. And we'll be tuning in live on Saturday afternoon, 3:15 Eastern Caribbean time, 2:15 in Jamaica for live coverage on SportsMax. And it will be on Scene TV as well, George. Thanks a lot, and looking forward to seeing the coverage tomorrow. Yeah, so it's break time here on the SportsMax Zone. A lot more to go through on the programme. Shortened today because of the extended programming from rugby. And we'll be back. We have cricket to talk. There's football coming up as well. Back in a moment.
Stay with SportsMax on YouTube and follow us on all social pages for updates, news and entertainment.